Well, hello. My name is Melissa. Nice to meet you if you're new here. Welcome back. If not, you've been here for the last few videos. My last video, I only talked about one movie that had a lot of summer being pool party energy. Because it wouldn't fit into this list at all, really, and I wanted an excuse to talk about it. Heebie Jeebie TV. You should watch it. But this video is going to be kind of the opposite of that. We're going dead of summer, not summerween. There are no coffin shaped pool floaties or spooky cocktails here. This is dead of summer. When we're just ready to keep it pushing and go to Halloween. These movies are sun bleached, dusty, sweaty, maybe a little more uncomfortable than you want them to be. I have some funny ones in here too, but a lot of uncomfortable, dusty movies that I feel like just fit into this weird time of year very well. It's kind of transitional, kind of liminal, right? The in between before Halloween really hits. So here I have actually like a very small stack that's misleading because these are all of the movies that I'm going to talk about that I own on physical, but it's actually a much bigger list. I have 10 recommendations, and then I'm going to talk about three movies that I am also going to be adding to my watch list that I have not seen yet. There's some obvious stuff, there's some deep cuts. I tried to get some classics, mix of everything. If you'd like some recommendations to throw on your August watch list, keep watching. The first movie, and undoubtedly, like probably the most obvious, so I thought that I would make it first on the list. I'm wearing the t shirt. Get it out of the way. I can't not include it though, it would feel weird. And that is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, obviously. I also happen to have the special edition that looks like a slab of meat on the back, and I love it so much. If you somehow haven't seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it is about a group of friends who take a trip out to middle of nowhere Texas to check on some potential grave robbings that there have been in the area, and they want to check on their family. And on the way, they come across first the infamous gas station and then a not so abandoned house. Unfortunately for them, this is where they meet the Sawyer family. I just always get the urge to watch this movie when it's like humid and sticky and just like yucky outside. Staying inside and watching it with the air conditioning just like satisfies something in me. And also just any opportunity to hang out with my baby girl Leatherface. He just wants to be left the fuck alone to do his crafts and freaks out when someone shows up at his house unexpectedly. I really get her. I think also just knowing the tidbit of I've seen it online and I've seen it a little bit on the special features on this DVD, how like genuinely dilapidated and old and yucky the house that they were filming in was. And on top of that, like they just genuinely packed it with rotting carcasses and skulls and all of that. Like you can smell this movie. You can only imagine. And it really adds to it. It's also really funny. It has that humor that I feel like only horror movies are really capable of, that was very weirdo and kind of nihilistic. But I've even heard that Toby Hooper kind of looks at this partially as a comedy. I know that there were choices made specifically to like lighten the mood a little bit. The opening shot is of like a rotting armadillo, and that's very unpleasant, but it was supposed to be a rotting dog carcass, which again, you could see the alternate opening on this special edition, and it really is bleak and sad. I wonder if that would like affect the overall viewing experience of Texas Chainsaw if that was the opening scene that we got, because I can check out real quick when we're talking about a dead dog. Thankfully, we'll never know, and I get to have my nasty, rotting comfort food. I love this movie so much, and any excuse, again, to watch it, but it is especially perfect this time of year, in my opinion. I've been thinking about this movie a lot recently, and I just could not resist throwing it in. It does also fit the theme, in my opinion, even though people really love it or hate it. That is the Blair Witch Project. I both happen to like really love found footage, and I've lived around like heavily wooded areas most of my life, so this movie definitely scares me. And feels real. And I was born in 96, so the kind of the marketing, like the really effective immersive marketing of this movie passed me by completely. I wasn't really there for it, but I kind of secondhand experienced it because I had heard about it when I was cognizant or whatever, and my dad had like a Blair Witch box set, in our DVD collection growing up, and it came with like a little pendant of the stick man. And that thing always scared, the cover always scared me. So tell me why I stole the necklace one day. I just really wanted it. Was really cheap and flimsy, and I broke that shit really quick. And I just vividly remember like sitting in my room, like manically trying to hot glue this shit back together. Because if my dad wasn't about to freaking kill me and knew the Blair Witch was gonna come for me, a lot of reasons that I still find the Blair Witch scary. And it is the OG found footage movie, in my opinion, and I think that it deserves the respect just for that. Three student filmmakers vanish in the woods while filming a documentary, and this movie is the footage discovered after their demise. And it just feels so real. Even like the older that I get, I feel like it should have the reverse effect of like the more times I see it, the more I mature or whatever, the more horror that I watch. Like this should feel just very like basic to me. But I think it is just like the level of the performances and the weird amount of lore. Like once again, like dad had that weird DVD set. I'm pretty sure there was a weird book in there that I would look to. I now also own like a weird Blair Witch book. There's like such a odd amount of lore tied in. Like it all feels so real. You just couldn't convince me that this was fake when I was a kid. And that fear maybe still sits in the back of my mind. Also, the people who star in this movie, Heather Donahue, Joshua Leonard, and Michael Williams, they were put through like practically a step away from being on Survivor with this movie. Like, and again, you feel it. Often they were just doing a lot of reacting and being given vague nudges and kind of points of things that would happen in the story at some point, but they wouldn't know exactly. I've heard that they would also get like regular journal entries delivered to them in the woods, like in the voice of their character to kind of put them in the headspace more. And of course, after this movie came out, when they had to, keep it low for a while because the directors wanted everyone to even think that they were dead. It's crazy. It's a lot of, I feel like, the lore turned into reality to a degree. And I would just really love to figure out some kind of a projector situation outside one night and to watch it after the hot air breaks and get more scared by the movies in the movie and the movies happening actually around me. Because again, wooded area. I live lots of critters. All right, next up, if Blair Witch bores the hell out of you, this should be exciting. Hot motors, hot pants, hot tempers, and a lot of sun bleached, dusty, and we're in the desert. A lot of this movie. Faster Pussycat, Kill Kill. A trio of go-go dancers abduct a young girl and then come across a farmhouse with an elderly man that they would love to seduce and take all his money. The tables do end up turning on them at one point, though, when they kind of try to move on to the land. Ridiculousness ensues. I finally got to see this movie for the first time really recently. Thank you, bootlegs. Thank you, HorrorCon. And I've just been looking for an excuse to rewatch, but it does really fit into this time of year really well, in my opinion. Just some hot, badass women making the worst choices ever over and over, but looking really cool while doing it and slinging some of like the best dialogue that I've ever heard in my life. And their line delivery is so good. They just nail it. This is one of John Waters' favorite movies, and you could pair it with anything that he's ever made for a double feature. I feel like it has a lot of the same wit, ridiculous, off the wall one liners. Tura said Tana as Varla is really like the star too. You just, I'm fascinated with her. She's so cool. Her delivery, her cat eyes, her cool knife, her cutthroat attitude. It's so fun. It's so fun. And there's a new documentary about her that I need to see too. Another thing that could be potentially good to pair this with on my rewatch. I know John Waters was interviewed for it too, so I'll watch a lot because John Waters is in it. It's fast paced, it's quotable, and I just needed an excuse to talk about it. The next movie I unfortunately do not have in my physical collection yet. I only just got the sequel, and I'm kind of holding out for a fancy box set, but besides the point. I could also probably make the argument that this is the best movie on the list to pair with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and that would be X from Ty West's X trilogy. A prequel to Pearl, X is set in 1979 rural Texas, where a group of young filmmakers rent a cabin to try to make an adult film. Things flip when their elderly hosts kind of catch on to what they're doing. And then the movie really makes good on its tagline, which is one goddamn fucked up horror picture. I really do tend to call this movie Ty West's Texas Chainsaw. I think it's a freaking masterpiece if you can't already tell. It's a pure sleaze fest. The kills are crazy, like blood baths, but it also has these like crazy layers of like religious trauma and sexual freedom and regret, the inevitability of getting old. And it shouldn't be able to balance those two tones so well, but it's perfect. This movie's so good. The cast is incredible. This is the movie where and I know a lot of other people, fell in love with Mia Goth. Pearl is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's in my top 4, but X is always up there, like neck and neck. And every time I watch X, I question if that's really my favorite. But then I watch Pearl again, and that movie is, I love it. Watching them together is such a gut punch. And I also will defend the third movie, Maxine. I love Maxine. Do not come here with that. That's besides the point, but X is still such an incredible movie. It really rewards rewatches. I feel like it's something that I notice more every time that I play it again. The Fleetwood Mac landslide montage like makes me cry, like brings a tear to my eye or full crying every single time, no fail. And it's crazy to have aspects like that and also just such a crazy slasher movie. Again, like it balances this stuff so well. So a really, really big Chelsea Wolfe fan. Her new album is coming soon. I'm so excited. But she did the score for this movie along with Tyler Bates, and I love that's like another aspect that just feels so like personal to me, I guess. Like it's such a I love this movie so much, and then to kind of have her voice ferrying you through the whole thing. Like the score is so good, and it, oh man, it's incredible. The year that X came out, the score was like in the top of my Spotify because I just kept listening to it. And I could really just go on for another like 10, 15 years about this. I think that X and Texas Chainsaw are the movies that I'm going to yap the most about. So so now you're safe. Next movie that I think like very firmly fits into this time of year, but I want to revisit it again because I haven't got to like the obsessed loving it point yet, and that is It Follows. Yeah, I don't have this one on her own. I have it in this uh, little movie box set that I blocked out like a bunch of the names on the front because it's missing a DVD. Joys of thrifting. But I have It Follows. Young woman played by Micah Monroe is hunted by a supernatural force after a sexual encounter. I think that knowing that the sequel is going into production or is done already, one of the two, as well as the recent talk about Leviticus, has made me want to make sure I circle back to this one this month. Those comparisons also happened crazy when Smile came out. It seems like this movie is the one that kind of started the trend of like see something, do something, and then paranormal forces come for your ass. For some reason though, this one, like the origin of that trend, it's never latched onto me as much as Smile or even Leviticus did. At this moment, I prefer both of those movies to It Follows. And then, like, every few years, I try again because there is so much to love in this movie. The score is incredible. All of the scares feeling really earned. Micah Monroe is so good in this role. I think this was also the first movie that I saw her in, but she's someone that I look for now. I'm very excited she's going to be in the sequel, and I'm really excited to check out Victorian Psycho next month that she's starring in. But until then, I give It Follows another chance. I will also say that I would throw my smartphone off a fucking bridge in an instant if offered one of those shell flip phones. Why aren't they making those yet? Another one that I don't have on physical, unfortunately, and also funny enough, came out the same year as It Follows, and that is Creep. It's one of the most fun movies on this list. I couldn't resist just throwing it on. Something about the isolated cabin in the middle of the woods just gave me the pass to fit it on here. Any opportunity to have more peach fuzz or Mark Duplass. Creep is about Aaron, a filmmaker needing work. He accepts a sketchy offer online to film this mystery man, Joseph, for one day. $1,000 one day. Our man needs the money. I get it. And things start out kind of oddly cute and wholesome, but it doesn't stay that way. Things get weirder and weirder, and it starts to live up to its name. Things get just very creepy and morbidly funny and uncomfortable. And there are only like the two characters this whole time. From what I understand, this was also a pretty small production, so it's basically like an 82-minute Mark Duplass fest, and it is wonderful. It just has this very specific, bizarre sense of humor. If you like found footage, I think that this is worth a shot. And if you end up liking it, there is a Creep 2 that is significantly weirder, as well as a whole series on Shudder that is 2 seasons in called The Creep Tapes and is also really good and has had like incredible cameos. Highly recommend all of them. It really is so impressive that, especially with the series, it stays so good and fresh and funny when it is still just like the Mark Duplass plus whoever for one episode show. The King. Next up, if you want some more creepy cabins in your life, we have the creepy cabin movie, Evil Dead 2, the goofy one. Honestly, another great double feature with Creep. It just makes me think about like Joseph and Ash Williams in a cabin together. I'd pay a lot of money to see that. I also obviously have Evil Dead on the mind right now with Burn coming out recently. I was there opening night and I am in the disappointed club. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I can't even tell you, and I'm not even going to start on how upset that I am not head over heels with the new Evil Dead movie. It's the first one that I am not head over heels with. So I've been clinging to my favorites in the franchise since I saw Evil Dead Burn. I watched like every other movie in the franchise again. I potentially Rise more than once. I don't know. I don't remember. Who cares? We're talking about the classic. Because this is essentially the higher budget haha version of The Evil Dead. We're at the same cabin. Ash's friends are back. And of course, all hell breaks loose after the Book of the Dead recording is played, but significantly more of like a Pee Wee's Playhouse vibe compared to the first one. A lot of iconic scenes in this. I love the one where he's in the room and like literally everything is laughing at him, like the deer on the wall and the furniture and the lamps and the freaking walls, like haha fest. This is the haha fest of the Evil Dead franchise. It's like the other Ash in the mirror, like it's so stupid. It's so funny. It's so bloody still. And also we get the iconic groovy moment. My last three picks are some true older classics, if that's more the vibe that you're looking for. Burnt Offerings, summertime Amityville, if you will. A family moves into a large mansion in the countryside that seems to have a very mysterious and sinister power over those who inhabit it. The two biggest reasons to watch this movie: Betty Davis and Karen Black. I love them together. It's like a combo of actresses that I would never even dream did a movie together, but someone plucked it out of my dreams and it exists. It's younger Karen Black, way before Mother Firefly era, and then Betty towards the end of her career when she was doing like quite a few horror movies, I believe, in the last like decade of her life. That is something that I really want to do a deep dive on. Honestly, like maybe a video idea to give me an excuse to do it, running through all the Betty Davis horror movies. But anyway, Burn Offerings is so fun. It's a little slow. It's a little maybe unintentionally funny, if you know what I mean, but it's so worth the watch. This allegedly served as like some really heavy inspiration for The Shining, which also insane. Like, The Shining is my favorite movie of all time. What could top that? The Shining with Betty Davis. Okay. There's also a really good haunted pool scene in this movie, and it's better than the entirety of that freaking Night Swim garbage crap. If you ever get the morbid curiosity to watch that horrible Night Swim movie, don't, and just put on Burnt Offerings. You'll be so much happier, I promise you. Next movie, we're going fully back into nightmare territory with Carnival of Souls. Black and white, there is a colorized version, but I'm telling you, just watch the black and white one. It adds so much to the movie. I honestly can't imagine watching this movie in color. I don't want to. So, black and white, you better. Weird dialogue, disorienting, dilapidated locations, and just this like permeating, eerie organ music. This movie is about Mary, the sole survivor of a mysterious fatal car accident. She's looking for a fresh start and accepts a job in Utah as a church organist. However, when she gets there, she is haunted and terrorized by this very creepy and upsetting man. She is seeing these visions more and more and finds herself drawn to this deserted carnival on the edge of town that maybe holds some secrets for her specifically. I feel like as someone who has struggled a lot with mental health issues, it really is a movie that punches into all of that. If you've ever had like a dissociation episode, derealization situations, that is this movie. I would genuinely put it in the category of things like Rosemary's Baby or Eraserhead, just for what a bleak nightmare like plays out on screen. Plus like the weird like intermingling of reality, like knowing the little fact like the creepy man that is kind of the center of a lot of this movie is played by the director. So this was his only movie, I think. He just did a lot of like infomercials and stuff, just cranked out one masterpiece and kept it pushing. And I think that it's one of those classics that is old enough that everyone knows about it, but maybe not everyone has seen it, and I think everyone should. If you haven't, please give it a chance. Last movie, but certainly not least, because this is like probably one of the OG bleak summer movies, and that is the original Wicker Man. A few summers ago, when I was visiting the Mahoning Drive-In, they were going to be showing the Wicker Man like the next night from the event that I was going to. So they had him totally like built, and we're going to be setting him on fire the next night. And the pictures were crazy. And I think that honestly, maybe this list started there to a degree because I think of The Wicker Man a weird amount for the fact that I haven't watched it in years. Police Sergeant Neil Howie is called to an island village to search for a missing girl. But once he gets there, the locals are less than cooperative. Who is this girl? No one knows. No one's even heard of her. What are you talking about, man? And these people are very different. Mr. Neil Howie is a very upstanding Christian man, and he doesn't get these freaks at all. Again, some loaded implications in this one, but still is weirdly funny. Like, it's also kind of low key a musical. You get tricked into a musical when you watch Wicker Man, but it's fun. This movie is very pre Midsommar. That would be a great double feature. A very uncomfortable double feature. But of course, there is still like that creeping dread the whole time. Get gratuitous Christopher Lee, and then that crazy finale. Iconic classic for a reason, and another that should be watched at least once by everybody who's a horror fan, in my opinion. So those were all of the movies that I have seen before. I'm going to probably pick like 5 or 6 of them to definitely have on my watch list the next month to revisit. But I also wanted some stuff new to me as well. So the next 3 are new to me movies on my watch list that I'm going to be getting to in August. First is The Descent, and actually, I do have The Descent also on this weird horror collection thingy. So I've looked at it plenty of times, almost popped it in. I hear about this movie constantly. I feel like, again, especially this time of year, because it seems to really fit in. And it's just time. So The Descent is about a group that gets together for an Appalachian caving expedition, but a rockfall traps them all in, beginning the nightmare. That's terrifying enough as it is. But guess what? There's also cave dwelling creatures. While trying to find a way out, they also start getting hunted by these terrifying creatures. Combo of fun beasts and just like scary isolation. Cave diving or whatever like scares the crap out of me. Hell no. So it just seems like a fun combo that's also just going to be genuinely scary. Next, another movie that I have just been hearing about out of nowhere this year, Triangle. Ooh, I am almost done with this. And my phone storage just said, "You're done. We're full, girl." Oh, God. Triangle. Yeah, I know very little about this one. Really just that it's a decent summer movie. It happens on a boat. And then the letterbox description is like 2 sentences. So, also very little information. The tagline is "Terror comes in waves." When Jess sets sail on a yacht with friends, she cannot shake the feeling of something wrong. So again, ambiguous as hell. It just has a really cool poster. Really, the biggest thing against it at this point is I'm going to have to watch Liam Hemsworth, but hopefully he goes quick. The last movie that is on my list is a recent one. I only missed it last year, and that is Dangerous Animals. I'm like a Jaws is perfect, and there aren't really many good shark movies person, so I tend to just kind of let them pass by. But this one did actually sound interesting, and then I just kept waiting for summer to roll back around to get to it, and I haven't gotten to it. So this month I have to. And this is about a savvy, free spirited surfer who gets abducted by a shark obsessed serial killer, and there's some kind of ritualistic feedings. I'm intrigued by that. Is he also like creepy and culty? I have a lot of questions. It's a very cool concept. I know I've seen the video of her getting like dipped into the pool of sharks, and I've actually heard good things about it, so I'm excited to finally get there. Maybe pair it with something real stupid and run Sharknado. All right, yeah, my phone is still yelling at me, so I'm happy that I just got the lists done, honestly. We gotta wrap it up with the outro. I hope you got some movies to add to your list. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. If you'd like to catch up with me again, I try to post a video every week, but I'm still really new here and kind of figuring out style, topics, all that jazz. Lots of ideas, making them happen. I hope you're having a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and I hope to see you again. Bye.